In just a few weeks, we will gather here at our sacred spiritual home to welcome in the new Jewish year of 5785. Yes, 5,785. Now, this moment of transition from one year to the next presents a unique opportunity to reflect, on the one hand, to walk ourselves through this past year and confront our joys and successes, as well as those times when we've missed the mark, when we've grieved, when we've felt pain. The beginning of a new year also affords us the opportunity to look forward to the year ahead, to set our intentions for the type of year we wish for and the type of us that we hope to be during its course. These two things, reflection and intention, may seem separate, even opposites, some might say, but for Jews and for Judaism, they are deeply interrelated. For our tradition, the past holds wisdom that grants us a vision for the future. And the future we enter is made more complete and meaningful when we carry this past with us. This is why one of the names for the new year, other than Rosh Hashanah, is Yom HaZikaron, the day of remembrance. So as we walk side by side towards our future together here at Temple Israel in 5785, I want to take just a moment to look into our past and open ourselves to the lessons it teaches. On the eve of the year 5707, on the Jewish calendar, Erev Rosh Hashanah, September of 1946, the new assistant rabbi of Temple Israel, recently hired from one of our sister congregations in St. Louis, Rabbi James A. Wax, spoke these words, which would serve not just as his message for that year, but as a guiding beacon for his 32 years of devoted service to this congregation and this city. He said, social justice, the genuine concern for one's fellow man, is the cornerstone of Judaism, and it must become the cornerstone upon which the world is built. Religion is not what some would make it, he continued. A, quote, Sabbath asset and a weekday liability, a religion that emphasizes righteousness and not ritual, that emphasizes conduct and not creed, that emphasizes deed and not dogma, offers the solution to the problems that confront us. Religion confined to sanctuary walls, religion on a part-time basis can do little. But religion whose voice is heard everywhere and whose influence is constantly felt will steer mankind from confusion to certainty, from strife to security. These words, spoken nearly 78 years ago to the day, have guided the future of this congregation, not only during Rabbi Wax's tenure, but far beyond, all the way up until today. Rabbi Wax's vision, later carried on by Rabbis Danziger and Greenstein, was of a congregation that was not solely a house of meaningful worship, though it is, or a center of deep learning, though it is as well, but that was and continues to be a beacon, a force for goodness, decency, dignity, and equality for this community and beyond. Drawing on the voices of the past, in particular the ethical calls of the ancient Israelite prophets, Rabbi Wax set a vision for a living Judaism that guided the lives of its people to bring righteousness and justice into a world in which it was, and I'm sorry to say still is, sorely lacking. So as we set our collective sights to the future, we also look to the past for guidance. Tonight, I am honored to highlight the creation of the Rabbi James A. Wax Institute for Social Justice here at Temple Israel. Built on the foundation of journeying from knowledge to understanding to action, The Rabbi Wax Institute will organize special speakers and panel discussions that will deepen our understanding and awareness of issues that continue to plague our community. With this knowledge in hand, the Institute will provide resources for all of us to find pathways of personal involvement so that we can continue to be a beacon of hope in our Memphis community and beyond. In doing so, we will continue Rabbi Wax's legacy of bringing the light of Judaism and the values of equality and justice to which we hold dear and spreading it out into the world. It is fitting that we announce the establishment of this institute with its first panel occurring the afternoon of Yom Kippur. Please mark your calendars. It's fitting that we mention this on this Shabbat in particular. We are in this moment in Parshat Ki Teitzei, a section of the book of Deuteronomy with I think it's fair to say, a smattering of laws related to everything from ethics in war to how we treat animals to finding someone's lost property. Now, I say it's fitting because many of these laws pertain to things that, at least for us in our modern world, we might think of being outside the realm of religion. For example, in chapter 24, we read, "You shall not abuse a needy and destitute laborer. You must pay out the wages due on the same day before the sun sets, for the worker is needy and urgently depends on it. Else a cry to God will be issued against you, and you will incur guilt." Later on, we have rules regarding fairness in scales and weights and measures. You must have completely honest weights and completely honest measures if you are to endure long on the soil that your God is giving you. Labor guidelines, laws about weights and scales, even laws about animals, laws that we should not kill a mother and her young at the same time. We might think that these dwell in the realm of the secular, not in the realm of the religious. Or, as my dad say, in the realm of the profane, not in the realm of the sacred. But if we listen carefully to these visions that call to us from the past, the powerful words of Rabbi Wax nearly 8 decades ago call us to a different understanding. Quote, "The idealism of Israel's prophets must be heard and heeded in the marketplace and in the legislative assembly, in the industrial conference and in the peace parley. Let not the voice of religion be muffled, its spirit stifled, and its influence ignored. Let us learn the meaning of morality and make it meaningful in our daily lives and labors." For him, the inspirational call of Judaism's ethical tradition extends to the totality of our world. For him, there is no issue of justice and equality that was not a Jewish issue. This is why Rabbi Wax was a leader, not just for our congregation, but in this state and this city, helping to found the agency that would eventually become the Memphis-Shelby County Mental Health Association, serving on the state's first mental health commission and the governor's committee for employment of the physically handicapped, as well as the boards of many other organizations like Memphis Planned Parenthood and the Memphis Urban League. As Rabbi Wax famously said to Memphis Mayor Henry Loeb during the sanitation workers' strike in the wake of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, quote, "There are laws far greater than the laws of Memphis and Tennessee, and these are the laws of God. We fervently ask you not to hide any longer behind legal technicalities and slogans, but to speak out at last in favor of human dignity." In taking these words to heart, the Wax Institute will further Rabbi Wax's vision for a more equitable world, a world in which we are all responsible for the woes of our fellow Memphians, our fellow Americans, our fellow human beings, recalling even the etymological origin of the word religion, coming from the Latin religare, meaning to bind or to obligate, and reminding us that we are indeed bound to one another. So let us take this echo of the past deep into our hearts and souls and hold tight to it as we venture into whatever the future holds. And may the creation of this institute in honor and memory of Rabbi Wax's call for justice give us renewed inspiration to make this year and so many years following better than the last. We sincerely hope that all of you will join us on this journey. Shabbat Shalom.